Huge issue, and especially in geriatric dogs too. I mean, they tend to, especially if they hate having their nails trimmed, the older they are, the longer their nails, because we just give up over time, I think, with some of them. You got to remember that if you look at your dog and you see where that nail lands when it's long or short, that it does affect the position of the toe. So if the nails are really long, it does push up on those toes. Over time, if the nails get really long, then you'll see the nails kind of start to deviate to the side. So you'll see little angulations in those nails, and they'll, and pulls the toes, those directions. And you'll see dogs with, really long nails tweaking those toes. Those I do find those dogs, whether they may or may not have a lot of arthritis in those digits are uncomfortable to manipulate. So if you imagine that if you were standing, with your toes every which way, it's like wearing a really uncomfortable pair of shoes that were either squishing your toes or, or rocking your toes around, that would be uncomfortable. And then things stretch out how they shouldn't be able to, as far as the tendons and ligaments, so then they don't support the feet in normal positions. And so that then leads to arthritis, right? Increased stress on the joint, loading areas of the joint abnormally that they shouldn't be. So I think nail care really important, very important to start young, keep them short so they're not in direct contact, with the ground when they're in a standing position. And maintain that for life. And certainly, very often in some dogs that I've had, like a single toe injury, I mean, we'll even sedate and cut the nail back shorter than normal, because we don't want it in contact, because it is stressing the joint in a way that is painful for that dog. So, and I think in the older dogs, definitely, problematic. We're like nail trim. We're recommending it. We're doing it here, for those. The other thing is that if it's like little mini ice skates. I mean, how dogs get traction is they grip with their nails. And if they're excessively long, especially if they don't have that fabulous floor you were talking about, that they're more inclined to slip and slide, which is, if they have other issues, is going to tweak. And the weak geriatric or neurologic dog is going to have a much harder time.
I totally agree.
Surfaces.
Agree. And I'm one of those, if I've got a dog in for an anesthetic, no matter what I'm doing.
Oh yeah, take advantage of that.
Ear pluck or whatever it is. I'm like, do the feet. Let's do the feet. It's an additional. We don't have to charge for it. We're just here. So while the nurses are monitoring the anesthetic, I get them to trim the fur back, not to the skin, but just so the pads are exposed. And just take their time with those nails. And there is a lovely group, I will big them up, I think it's called the Nail Management Facebook group. They've closed it.
No, I'm a member of that, just to see, because there's always tips and tricks even as veterinarians can learn, but nail care and the alternate cut lines and all of that, and how to desensitize. I think that's the big thing that people are always worried, especially with those black nails. Am I going to cut it too short and it's going to bleed? It hurts, and then there's and they bleed a lot. I get it, kind of thing, and being prepared, being prepared for that. And then there's certainly those dogs that just don't tolerate it, but can't, and I'll have some of those dogs that we do have to lightly sedate to get their nails trimmed. But I think it's, we have good things to sedate, safe, even mild sedation, options now, and other things to just, help relax them a little bit, even if it's not full on sedation, to get it done. And if we have to do it with medical help, I think it's, to me, especially in an older dog, it's worth it because of those long nails being so problematic for them. So
totally agree.
Don't be afraid.